Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back. Good to see you guys. How are you all on this what is it, Tuesday afternoon? Oh, not Tuesday afternoon. It's Wednesday afternoon for me. Maybe Tuesday evening for you guys. How are you all? Good to see you. Hey James Avery, how are you? James Avery is here. Good to see you. We have some I feel like today's a bunch of good news and bad news. Which one do you guys want first? Which one do you guys want first? Do you want good news or bad news? I have both for you. I have yeah, I have good news and bad news. Hope you're all doing well yourselves, but you guys want the bad news first? Okay. So, a lot of people have been asking about a update for Mrs. Ping, and you guys may have known that she was having Muffin, shut up. She was having some scans done over the last couple of weeks to get ready for surgery in October or November. We got the news back on those scans um, a week ago, and a week ago we were told that it's it's not great news. It basically means that the surgery she was going to have in October is now cancelled. She will not be undergoing any more surgery, and they are going to leave it as it is. The problem that she has, which I'm not going to go into, but the problem that they found on the scans is insurmountable. It's insurmountable. The surgeon was like, if we do that surgery, it will basically reduce her quality of life by like 90%. And they're like, we only do that surgery for people who are like actively dying. He's like, she would have to be like on death's door, and this is the only way forward. So they basically the surgeon's like, we do surgery to make people better. And he's like, she is better, and that yes, the plan was to do this other surgery, but the issue that they found on the scan basically means that it wouldn't if that wasn't there, yeah, they could do the surgery in November, but because they found this thing, basically makes it such a high risk surgery that they're like, she could come out of that surgery with like a million worse problems. They're like, yeah, basically the risks are so high that the surgeon's not comfortable with doing it at all. He's like, "Nope, not at all. Wouldn't do that to someone." And so no, 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 no. The surgery last year was to fix a different problem. This other surgery was to then fix what it's hard to explain without giving you all the details, and I don't wanna violate, like, her HIPAA stuff, but I'll just say, like, it was 2 separate problems. The one she had last year was to fix the first problem, and then the second problem was supposed to be for the surgery this year. When they did the first surgery, yeah, it's successful and she's better now, but it was then gonna have a second surgery to fix a second problem. That second problem would have was supposed to give her a higher quality of life, but now that they found this thing on the scan, it basically means that they can't do it. It is so high risk that the doctor's like, "I'm not willing to do it." He's like, "We don't go into medicine and surgery to make people worse." He's like, "I wouldn't do it to her." He's like, No, no way." He's like, "I just don't would not do a surgery on someone that it might make some parts of their life better, but it could make a whole bunch of other problems." So that is what's going on with that. And some good news and bad news, I guess. No more surgeries, which she is happy about. Means she doesn't have to go to hospital in October. And just, I guess she just has to get used to the idea that this other surgery is not going to happen. And look, you never know. Medical stuff gets better every day. and they have medical advancements all the time. And so if they ever develop a way to get through this issue, she could have the surgery. It just right now in this day and age, there is no way of doing that. So yeah. Gayla said better for him to tell the truth and not just go ahead and do it. Yeah, he's a really good surgeon, and he basically saved her life last year. So we trust him, and we trust his opinion. Like we trust his opinion, and his opinion is that basically any surgeon that would do this to someone is incompetent. He's basically saying like it's so risky. So the risk would be death. He's like literally the risk is death on the operating table, or a lifelong, like the rest of your life full of issues. Because he's like the parts of the body that they would be operating on, there's no going back. Like they screw something up and they touch something that they shouldn't have, or they cut something they shouldn't have, and it's like game over. It's like there is no going back, there is no fixing it, there is no surgery that can repair it. So yeah, so that is the news. I know a lot of people wanted to know about if she was doing okay. She's fine. Like she's healthy and she's not sick like she was a year ago. She's just disappointed. I think disappointed that she's not going to get the second surgery that she wanted, but she's not dying anymore. So that's good. I mean, isn't that the aim of it, was to make sure she wasn't dying? So that is good. And yeah, so that is the bad news, unfortunately. Yeah, it happens, and it's better than how she was like a year ago. Like a year ago, she couldn't walk. She couldn't walk upstairs. She was so ill, she couldn't even walk up like two stairs. She couldn't eat, she couldn't do anything. Now she can eat, she can run, she goes to the gym, like she does everything. So it's bad news and good news. Um, yeah, so she can actually eat anything now, which is she is loving. She can basically eat things that she couldn't eat for like 15 years. So she can eat real bread and she loves bread. So she's been eating a lot of bread. So that's good. Montana said, hopefully he'll continue to monitor her. Yes. So, yeah. So basically, what happens now is like she's done. Like they're going to discharge her from the medical system because, as far as they're concerned, she's done. And uh, they're just going to check up on her like every half a year, or every so often, and give her some more scans and check that everything's okay and that type of thing. But Sean said, "Too young to be inconvenienced with ongoing health issues." Yeah, and the doctor's like, in the shape that she is now, she could live to 110 and be fine. So you win some, you lose some, and we are very lucky we didn't lose her last year. Like she almost died twice last year. So Marilyn said, "So much better than a year ago." Yeah, yeah, a lot better. But I was getting a lot of emails because I had told people online, like on the show, that she was getting ready for that surgery. But yeah, about a week ago, we got the news that yeah, it's not going forward anymore. And we had a longer talk with them the other day, and basically, yeah, that's you guys got like the 1% of it. I don't want to go deeper into it for her privacy, but yeah, that's basically the outcome. The surgery's too risky, too complex. Doctor won't do it because the quality of life afterwards could be like 1,000% worse than where she is right now. So he doesn't want to touch it. He's just like nope. So g Andrew says, "Live to 110 and eat bread." Yeah, so she's very happy that she gets to eat all the bread, and she can eat pasta again, which she likes pasta. And, for like 15 years or so, she couldn't eat bread or pasta. She had to be on, like, a gluten-free. We thought she was gluten-free for like 15 years. Like we thought she'd developed some sort of celiac type thing, but she hasn't. She can actually eat bread and pasta and she's fine. It was this other issue that was doing it last year. So that is your update with that, and that's the end of that. There will be no more updates because she's done. She's finished. That's it. And yeah, unless something happens in the future, then that's the end of it. So happy to get out of the medical system. It's been like 3 years of a nightmare trying to navigate all these medical doctors and surgeons and that. So we are very happy that that is over because uh, if you've ever had to navigate the medical system, it is a nightmare. So happy about that. Sad about the surgery. Happy that she is alive. That is the end of it. Um, Gail said, I like pasta and bread. It doesn't like me. I look pregnant after eating it. That's how she used to look too. And that's why we thought she was celiac. But after this surgery she had last year, apparently not. Apparently she can eat bread and pasta just fine. So we don't know why. We're not sure why, but she can. All right. Good news. We have some good news, and I have some good news for you. That teenager who ran away from Florida a week ago has been located, which I think is crazy. Now, it's in the title. There you go. Is she on the screen? Yeah, there you go. Sophia. Now, Sophia ran away from her father's home like about a week ago. You guys will never guess where she was found. Well, you will because it's in the title. But she was found in Cherry Hills, New Jersey. And I couldn't believe it that she made it all the way from Naples in Florida all the way to Cherry Hill. I don't know how a 16-year-old made it from Florida on her own all the way to New Jersey, but apparently that is where they found her. She was found at a friend's home. Now it says here the Collier County Sheriff posted it this morning saying Sophia has been located and is safe. That's all they're saying. And then they said we don't have any additional information here, and other that she made contact with law enforcement out of state and was removed from the national and state missing person databases. And then, according to her father, he commented on a it's called the Florida Themis Project, a victim support group. He described her as totally safe. She was picked up today at a friend's house in Cherry Hill, New Jersey by the FBI. She is totally in their custody. Well, I don't know what that means. Wait, so hold on. Did I say a friend's home? I That's what I heard. Hold on. Did I say that correctly? She is totally in their custody. She was, yeah, yeah. She was picked up today at a friend's house in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So yeah, like I said, she was at a friend's home. How she made it from Cherry Hill to Naples from Naples, Florida to Cherry Hill, I got no idea. Hold on, Naples. Let me have a look. That is an 18-hour trip. It is 1,211 miles away from her home in Florida. So if you don't know where Naples, in Florida is, it's really far south, almost near Keys. So if you know where the Keys are in Florida, it's not that far from the Keys. And, how she made it all the way to Cherry Hill, I got no idea. Here, what is the best route? Yeah. This is not quite the same map, but it gives you sort of a view of it. So there's Naples here. She would have driven all the way up here and then stopped in New Jersey. So this is 21 hours, but she would have stopped a little further south than Toronto. It is a hell of a trip. A hell of a trip. Um, what? You're glitching so badly? Yeah, go back in and try again. Is anyone else glitching? It shouldn't be. Hold on, guys. What is going on? Yeah, she didn't get there on her own. Obviously, someone helped her. If there's more than a few of you glitching, let me know. But it's showing me as that we have full upload and download, and it shouldn't be. No, maybe someone's Wi-Fi is playing up. All right. So how did she get from Naples, Florida, all the way to Cherry Hill in New Jersey? I don't know, but according to this, authorities are interviewing her and that her father, Richard, is flying out to Cherry Hill today or tomorrow to go pick her up. And it says here, it sounds like just some teenagers decided that they were smarter than everyone else and decided to hang out together for a few days, and it turned into 11. Just great news, everyone. So it sounds like he might have got a little bit more information on what happened to her, and then it might be that yeah, her friends basically missed her from when she lived up north and decided, "Hey, we're gonna bring her back here." Maybe originally it was gonna be just for the weekend, and it turned into almost 2 weeks, which I don't know, putting your dad through that, he thought, like, originally that someone had groomed her, had abducted her, and was putting her into some sort of trafficking thing, but it's not that. It sounds like basically she missed her old area, missed her friends, didn't like moving all the way to Florida, and, yeah, basically, hold on, guys. Sorry, there we go. Basically, yeah, wanted to go home. Like, her parents moved to Florida, they'd been there for a few months, but sometimes kids don't adjust very well when you take them from somewhere they've been for a long period of time. They have friends and foundation and they've been there, they go to school. And when you take them away from that, sometimes um, they just don't adjust very well to a new area. So that could have been what happened. Police should read her the riot act. Yeah, could be a boyfriend. Obviously, someone helped her, obviously. A How much would it cost? Do you guys have any idea what a plane ticket would cost? Here. Naples, Florida to New Jersey plane ticket. I suspect the reason she left so early in the morning was that she was trying to get to a better airport, like somewhere that had a direct flight to New Jersey rather than maybe like a regional airfield, somewhere that had like cheaper tickets, possibly. How much would it cost? So she would have had to have got to Fort Myers, which is about half an hour drive from Naples in Florida, and that would have taken her to Newark in New Jersey. How much is a plane ticket? Let's see. Expedia. Uh, Naples to that. It is not cheap. Wow, it's more than I thought. $499 is probably the cheapest one that I can find. Yeah, 499 bucks, about $500. You can also find some up to about $700. Yeah, let's see if we do LaGuardia and see if it's any cheaper. Is going to LaGuardia any different? It's searching. I'm just trying to see what it gives us. $500 is a lot for a teenager. Now, they might have driven, but it's an 18-hour drive over 1,200 miles. I mean, yeah, I guess. Maybe they would have got picked up though. Just trying to see if is it giving us one. It costs more to fly into LaGuardia. Unfortunately, LaGuardia. It costs more to fly into there. It would be around $800. So it is actually cheaper to fly into Newark and then go from there. Um, Kelly Girl said 16-year-old girls do not adapt very well to being put in a new school. It's because that hierarchy in the school is already underway. And when you throw in new kids after so many years in the building of that hierarchy, you never can completely um, immerse yourself in that school hierarchy. And that is always a problem when you move children. Younger children do better than say high school students. High school students, whether they're male or female, moving them in those final years of high school is a bad idea. They don't adjust very well. I agree. Yeah, neither do no one, boys or girls, because that structure has been building over a number of years since they all got there and started off in what would it be, year 8? And then you know, they've already designated you're the cool kids, you're the nerds or whatever, you're the sports people. That is already, and then trying to fit into that with only a year or so left on your schooling is pretty difficult. So I don't think any of us. I feel bad for the father, and of course, like I think he would have liked it if his daughter didn't run away, but she's okay. She'll make it back to dad, and maybe dad's got to get her home to her friends a little more often to visit and visit people, hang out with her friends. Maybe he can bring them down to Florida and help get her settled into her new environment. But there's nothing on West Coast news. I was sorry, Gulf Coast news. I was trying to see. Hmm. They did not do an update, which I think is interesting. They did not do anything for her being found. So that is the ending to that one. I really wish I had a little more, but I guess we might get a little bit more when dad finally goes and picks her up. Um, Let me just check here. Today, so the dogs won't go around. Yeah, no other update other than that, except that he has been posting in that local support group about his daughter, and now he's saying she is okay. So, hey, anytime a kid makes it home to the family and doesn't wind up, you know, dead on the side of the road, missing for 25 years, I will take it. I will take it. I will say that is a good ending, and it gives me some new thoughts when we hear of like kids running away. I'll now be like, hey, you remember that kid that went 1,200 miles? So now we will all know that kids can do that. I had no idea that she could make it that far. I thought she was in the local area in Florida. So I was wrong. I was wrong. Let's see. Ah, detectives are working to uncover exactly what happened on July 31st when 16-year-old Sophia Cover left her home in Golden Gates Estates as her father continues to search for answers. And he basically says that they're trying to figure out how she left, who paid for it, because you can't go 1,200 miles for free. Either someone paid for the gas or someone paid for the air ticket. So that is something that has to be figured out as well. Like, who would have access to that type of money? I don't know many 16-year-olds who have a spare $500 to go pay for a air ticket. The obvious thing that would be interesting to know, did she have a return ticket? Because if she had a return ticket, then you could at least say she was going to come home. If she did not have a return ticket, was she ever actually coming home? Ever? Was she ever actually gonna make it back to Florida to her dad? Maybe not. Hey, Marlene. Catching up, she could have taken a bus or more money a train. There is a train that goes north from Florida. Let's have a look. Florida to that. How much would a train ticket cost? It's not that different from flying. If you wanna get on the Amtrak if you wanna get on the Amtrak from Florida, or actually it goes from Orlando, so she would have had to make it somehow to Orlando first, and then if you wanted to go on the Amtrak, which would take you to Penn Station, it is a 30-hour journey and would cost you between 400 and $900. Alright. How much is the, classic Greyhound ticket? How much is a Greyhound? Oh, maybe we found something. A Greyhound ticket takes 38 hours to get from Naples, Florida to Newark in Jersey. 38 hours. And it costs only $157. That is it. 157 bucks to make it to that's a hell of a trip. 38 hours on a bus. Ugh. I've done some long bus trips before. I've been on one for like 12 hours. I can't imagine spending close to 40 hours on a Greyhound. That would be brutal. But yeah, $157, that is in reach of a teenager. A 500 or, $1,000, nah. No, I don't think so. Amtrak fare was like close to a plane ticket. I'm not sure why people take the Amtrak when they can just fly. It's faster, it gets you there quicker. I don't know why people would take the Amtrak. Um, but yeah, other than that, no more details, but hopefully in the next coming days we'll find out. Possibly when she makes it back to Florida, but right now she's in New Jersey waiting for her dad to come pick her up. And I'm guessing he might have some words for the friend she was staying with. If they have parents, he might have some choice words for that parent that allowed their kid to bring her all the way to New Jersey. Um, there is a little bit of an update with Matthew Christopher Flores. Do you remember this guy we were talking about last night? There is a little bit of an update that came out today. They've put out a new photo of him, and I'm going to show you. It's from the FBI. From the FBI. Hold on. There we go. So now he is wanted by US Marshals and he wanted for homicide. Now, if you don't remember this story from last night, I'm sure you do. He is accused of killing his own parents and burying them in the backyard of their home in Arizona. And we were talking about it last night. We saw a little bit about the home, how they found the parents. It was a welfare check. And when the cops, so I read today, the cops actually did two welfare checks. They did one, went to the home and couldn't find anyone, and just basically went, oh, they're not there. They then went out a second time, and that is when they found the crime scene inside of the home with all the blood and then they knew something was wrong. Well, now they've put out this new photo here. Can I put myself there? There we go. There you go. You can see him. Where has he gone? I still think it is most likely Mexico. I haven't heard a new location for it. They're not really saying significant amount of blood. Yep. Um, he is also facing a charge of unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. That is what they said today in a statement that they are looking to charge him with that as well, basically fleeing from the crime. I'm just trying to see if there was a an update about like what country. I still think the Mexican border being right there is most likely where you'd go, but um, just checking if anyone has mentioned it. So the US Marshal Service and the FBI have not given an update on where they think he might be, but I think if he boarded a plane, they would probably know about it already. But they're saying here he is Russian born, holds a dual American and Russian citizenship, and investigators are heavily investigating whether he attempted to travel to Russia. That is good information. The fact that he holds a dual passport would make it very easy for him to get to Russia. Now, let me have a look. US Marshals. Yes. So he has a different last name. So Flores is actually it goes like Matthew Christopher Flores and then Semenov. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but he has a Russian last name as well. Here, I'll put it in the chat. He has a Russian last name. There you go. That is what they're oh, it's on the screen. Good work, Ping. Well done. Congratulations. You just played yourself. Um, could he make it to Russia? I mean, you would think they would have him on the airport CCTV, walking through the airport, boarding a flight, and leaving the country. And if that is the case, you would think it would be out in the public by now, that they would have given that to news agencies or, whoever to broadcast it to try and reach people, possibly in Russia. So I find that interesting that they haven't given us anything like that. Let's see. Trying to see if there was a update today. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to take you out to Fox 10 in Phoenix.
New details on the manhunt for the son suspected of killing his parents. Officials confirming human remains buried at the family home are those of his mother and father. And now an international manhunt intensifies for 27-year-old Matthew Flores.
Hector and Larissa Flores' parents disappeared last week, and tonight the U.S. Marshals have joined the hunt for Matthew Flores. They think he fled the country. Fox 10's Andrew Christensen is live tonight with the latest in this story. Andrew.
Yeah, tonight federal authorities are still looking for him abroad because they say investigators believe that he fled the country. Take a look at this new picture released by authorities. It shows a drastically different look from an earlier photo released by police. That friend also tells Fox 10 that Flores Semyonov is a dual Russian citizen. Matthew Flores is facing several charges, including first-degree murder, dangerous domestic violence, and abandonment or concealment of a dead body. And the Flores Semyonov family did speak out through a spokesperson last week. They say they're devastated by the situation, but they are fully cooperating with law enforcement. Reporting live in Avondale, Andrew Christensen, Fox 10 News.
Sorry about that. It was trying to play the other video. I don't think we want to watch the 49ers at practice camp for the NFL season. I don't think it's something we want to do on this channel. But yeah, Justin Lum, that's a good update. Let's have a look. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, did someone say how much would it cost to get to Russia? It would have to be thousands, right? Thousands from Phoenix Airport. Hold on. He has his parents like credit cards and that. after killing them. To get from Phoenix Airport to like somewhere in Russia, whether it's Sochi or Moscow, or Moscow or Saint Petersburg, it's you're looking at between $2,000 and 2,500, and it takes around 22 hours to get to any of those places in Russia. So any of those places, whether it's the capital or a different one, 22-hour flight. Wow, is it really 22 hours from the West Coast? Really? So to get to Moscow, it takes as long as getting to Australia. I would never have thought that from Phoenix. I would never have thought it would take around the same time to get from there to Australia and there to Moscow. Weird. They're saying here you have to do two different stops, one in Asia, or you would have to hit a hub in Europe somewhere and then change. So there's a few. You can do Asia, a hub in Europe, or you can go through the Middle East and then change and then get on another plane. But yeah, you're looking at around 2000 USD to about 2500 USD as well. So yeah. Is there flight sanctions from going to Russia? Nah, I think you can go to Russia. You can. I don't think there's any embargo on heading to Russia, is there? Don't think so. And not at the moment. Just that um 30 countries do ban Russian registered, owned, and controlled aircraft in their airspace, but that doesn't mean a commercial carrier couldn't take you there. I think there is a Russian commercial carrier in Europe. I can't remember what they're called, but apparently they are terrible. Yeah, I would have thought you could. Hey Emma, haven't seen you in ages. How are you? Serena said the police will be waiting for him by the time the plane lands. How? Do they have teleport? No. How would they do that? I mean, that's the other thing. Has Phoenix PD put out an Interpol red notice for him? Because that's the only way you could get him picked up. Let's have a look. Is there a red notice out for him? Interpol. Is there an Interpol red notice for him? Yes, there is. They're saying here that the U.S. Marshals have applied for an Interpol red notice for him. So if he crosses any border, he'll get picked up. And they're saying here he is fluent in Spanish and English. Interesting, because I think he's gone across the Mexican border and he is fluent in Spanish. So that would be a lot better than going to Russia where he doesn't even speak Russian. So that would be a lot harder of a life because he doesn't even speak the language. Yeah, he has an Interpol red notice out for him. Yeah, so if he tries to go anywhere now, he is in a lot of trouble. What is it saying here? Judy's to use a character with international partners. Okay. It's federal search warrant to avoid. Yes. Yep. So yeah, they're saying that if he tries to go across any border, um, they have the right to hold him for an extradition hearing back to the US. So that is what is going on. I reckon they're probably going to get him pretty quickly. I'd love to know why this photo is very low quality. where did it come from? Because every time I try like grab it from somewhere, it's just really blurry, almost like it came from a passport. Because this looks like a passport photo or a driver's license. Someone's staring right at the camera, and it's like of the chest and shoulders, and then up. It almost looks like a driver's license or a passport photo. Gail said Russia would just stick a uniform on him and send him to the front line. What do they call it in Russia? The meat grinder? The meat grinder? Hey, Emma. I am back to work now, and yes, good to see you, my friend. Were you on holidays for the summer? Hope you had a good holiday, my friend. Hey, Amy. Maybe he went to Mexico, then caught a flight from there. It depends on how long it took the US authorities to reach out to Mexico to check. Well, he had a head start. When you think about that timeline of when they did the welfare check, so they did the welfare check on the 4th of August. Who knows how long before that he actually took off and ran? Is it a day? Is it 4 days? Like that could give him a hell of a head start on authorities. A hell of a head start. I just want to know why they won't tell us what country they believe he's in. Why is that so secretive? Is it because it's Russia and they don't want to start some sort of, I don't know, political thing, and they don't want the Russian government? Because that's the thing. The Russian government have taken out things on US citizens before. They have held people, tortured them, thrown them into jail for long periods of time, done all sorts of things that are against most nations' laws and the way they deal with international countries. There was a girl, a NBA player. Do you guys remember that? She had a vape in her bag, and she went through the Russian, customs, and they basically held her in custody for months and months and months over a vape. I can't imagine what they might do if they found out a murder suspect had left the US and entered, into Russia. They might do some very interesting, whether it's for political gain, whether they want some sort of trade done to have Russians released from US jails, something like that. Like they always do this type of thing. Amy said the vape was empty, but it had weed residue in it. Oh no, not the residue. It's gonna poison 1,000 people. Yeah, so they said they were spies. Yeah. So can you imagine what they might do if they find out there is a high profile murder suspect that has just entered their country and that the US really wants them back? Yeah, it could get bad. Maybe that is why they do not want to sort of broadcast where he is until they can track him down, and they don't want to let Russian authorities know that he's there. Do they still have a gulag? I not that I've ever seen, but don't know. Marlene said Russia just released a US man after 4 years today. Really? I didn't hear that one. Here. Let's have a look. Oh, they did. US Marine held in Russia for more than 4 years. I don't know this guy. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I remember this guy. I remember he was on some videos begging to come home, asking for presidential help in America, asking for them to like make sure he can come home. His name is Robert Gilman, U.S. Marine veteran, freed from Russia prison after 4 years. Like, do you remember the female basketballer? Do you remember what they had to give up to get her home? I don't know if you guys remember. They had to do a prisoner swap with this guy. And if you don't know who this guy is like the merchant of war or death or whatever they call him. He's basically a weapons seller and he was selling weapons and, all sorts of guns, grenades, explosives all across the world. And that's what they wanted in exchange for her. They wanted him out of jail, and he's one of the world's most dangerous men, and that's what they wanted from the US. So, I can't imagine what a double homicide murderer might get in a prisoner trade. US mean what did they have to give for this? Oh, Russia freed him on humanitarian grounds. Doesn't sound like something they normally do. Let's go to. I'll play the little video for you if I can find it. Hold on. Uh, the ones I see are very very small. They're only like 30 seconds, and I don't want to do that to you. Uh, yeah, I'll just play the one from KHOU.
Well, a former U.S. Marine is free after spending more than 4 years in a Russian prison.
33-year-old Robert Gilman was jailed after being accused of assaulting a police officer along with other assault charges. U.S. officials say he was wrongfully detained, and President Trump helped secure his release after speaking with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He's now headed to Texas for medical treatment.
Medical treatment probably after being in a Russian jail for 4 years. So, if this kid, not a kid, he's 27 years old, has fled to Russia, good luck to him. Have fun because you ain't getting out anytime soon. And I don't know if the US can help you. That is like a really bad decision. That's why I'm wondering if he went to Mexico, because you would have to know that something like this could happen if you ran to Russia, even though you are a joint passport holder. That doesn't mean they're going to be kind to you. So, is that him under the flag? He looks really, really unwell. Yeah, that's him there. He doesn't look anything like his photo. Look, this is him before he left. That is him now. He looks severely malnourished, very unwell, very thin, very, very thin. So they probably starved him for, 4 years, and he's not had any kind of, food or anything medical. Definitely don't go to the Ukraine. No, no, don't go there either. Maybe he's going to go fight with one of the Islamic extremist groups, because I mean he's got the beard for it. He's got the beard for it. Maybe he's going to go to Afghanistan and hide in the mountains like Osama bin Laden, because he definitely has the sort of beard to hide out in that country. It definitely looks a little, you know, he looks European in the first photo, could pass him as Russian. Well, where's the first one? In his original photo without the beard, maybe. This one? This guy here? I mean, I guess he looks like a white American to me. Sean said, sounds like our ISIS brides and fighters that want to return. My opinion is, let them stay over there in Syria. How dare they come back here, really? I mean, they're crying foul now. Oh my God, I didn't know. Oh, don't keep my children in Syria. You're the one who went. Like, you went full knowing that you were going to go help people kill Americans, Australians, British, Europeans, and you were okay with that. So why should you ever be allowed back here? Just because everything didn't go to plan over there, and they didn't take over all of Europe, then why should you be allowed back? I I I don't think that, you are willing to kill your own countrymen plus our allies in America and that. Like that's no. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Right. Gail said the Belgium, whatever her name is, wanting back and being held in a camp. There was a bunch who made it back here recently, but they got arrested and taken to court because they committed crimes while overseas. And the Australian government said before they can do anything here, they have to serve time for the crimes that they committed while they were over there, including one of them bought a young girl, kept her as a slave, and did the normal things you do to people like that. So she is probably going to go to jail for a period of time in Australia for doing that, buying and selling humans. They released him because he is ill. Yeah, he's probably ill from what they did to him, from what happened in the jail. Amy said all the American Canadians that went to Russia for a white utopia or whatever, then had their bank accounts frozen. One guy had to join the army even though he doesn't speak Russian. There was a woman recently who tried to flee to the Netherlands. And she fled to the Netherlands because she said Donald Trump was going to ruin America and make it unsafe for gay people, trans people, stuff like that. So she fled to the Netherlands, but didn't do any research that the Netherlands are one of the toughest countries in the world to immigrate to. And if you claim asylum with them, that you really have to be in a life or death situation. Otherwise, you have to immigrate to the Netherlands like everyone else. You have to get a job, you have to have them sponsor you, you have to come over normally. She went over there and claimed asylum, and they basically told her that she is not in a life or death situation and to go home. And now she's apparently back in America. So, yeah. Hey, Doc, how are you? Good to see you. Content said, like Otto, that was a few years ago. That was North Korea, wasn't it? Oh, Samantha Begum, something like that. I don't know that name, but Gail said we've had so many people move here. Yeah. Look, this guy is in for a world of trouble if he really did run to Russia. And if that is the case, that he has gone there, he may be held in a jail and not treated very well for a very long period of time. One who is accused of double murder. Jeez, that was annoying. Why did it kick me out? It kicked me out. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me again. There you go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. She took two friends, all three. Oh yeah, that girl. Yes, I know who you're talking about. It was like a young schoolgirl in the UK, and she ran to fight with ISIS. Yep, I know who you're talking about. Yep. All right, let's move on. If we hear anything else about this, we will do an update. But so far, that is the latest update, that Interpol is aware of him, and that, yeah, if he crosses any borders, they will pick him up. And they are saying that he is responsible, most likely, for the death of his parents. So he is what they consider a double homicide suspect. Um, Just checking whether they did an update tonight or not. Police identify couple buried at lit. Yeah, so they've officially ID'd the parents now too. That ID was only tentative the other day. They have now officially confirmed it is his mum and dad, and that is now, confirmed. They're saying here though, it's currently unknown how long they were buried. That remains part of the ongoing investigation. And what else are you saying? The US Marshals will use every available resource, including domestic and international law enforcement partnerships, to locate him and return him to Arizona to face justice. So they are definitely assuming that he is definitely the one to hurt his mum and dad. So is it me or does this image look really odd? Does this image on the right almost look like AI or like Photoshop or something? There's something about it that doesn't look right. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like something around the eyes and the nose and the eyebrows that doesn't look right. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know if you guys can see it too, but something in that photo just looks like mm, maybe they photoshopped what he looks like on camera. Like maybe they caught him on a CCTV and then they made this photo to show people what he looks like. Yeah, is that what it is? It's been like narrowed AI. There's something off with it. There's something really weird around the eyes here and the eyebrows. Like those eyebrows are not even really the color that he has. Like he has these very light brown, you can see through them, but in this one they're very dark. And then around his eyes don't look like this. They're not open like that. Look at how his eyes are in this photo. They're very small, but in this one they're very open. Something up with that. I'm not sure what it is, but almost like it's a digital rendering or something. Look at the ears. Okay. His ears are very far back. They're very, very far back on his head. Where on this photo, yeah, they're far back, but you can see them even past, like his beard wouldn't be that long that it would cover up the ears. They almost look like they were stuck on with with like Photoshop. I don't know what is going on here. This almost looks like, when they do those composite images of people, like a digital rendering? That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I don't know if it is, but your ears don't grow or change. True. All head also doesn't belong on the shoulders. Let's have a look. It almost is like he has no neck. It's almost like he has no neck and they just put a head there. Like in this photo, yeah, his neck is quite wide to where the jaw is. But in this photo, it's almost like he doesn't have a neck and his head is like a bobblehead. So like it's on a spring like this. Yeah, I think it's definitely some sort of digital rendering. Yeah, I think we've all picked up on something. I don't know what exactly, but that image is not right. The eyes are freaky. The eyes really freak me out. Like when you look at them, it's like something in your brain, like, the uncanny valley effect. It's almost like your brain knows, like, it looks like a human, but there's something not right. Yeah, that's all. I get that from it while looking at it too. Um, the only thing the family has said, Danny, is that they want privacy and that they are very upset at what has happened to their loved ones, and that they're asking the media for privacy. That's what they've said. I think you guys are right that there's something really odd going on with that photo. We'll leave it there. When we get more information about him, I'll definitely tell you. But we've got other stories that we have to get through tonight. But you know what? It's Tuesday. Do you know what Tuesday brings? Tuesday brings more teachers behaving badly. Oh, yes, it is another episode of teachers behaving badly. We have a middle school teacher. Her name is Sadie M. Flores. She's 25 and was arrested on August 7th on a felony charge of grooming a minor under Kentucky law. That is, hey, thanks, Kathy. I don't know what that is, but thank you for the jewels. Yes, another episode of Teachers Behaving Badly. Guys, I'd appreciate the support. The people who watch this channel, um, can only do it because of the people that support it. And I appreciate it. I really do. People like Kathy and Sean, and we've got so many people that are kind like that. But yeah, it's based on you guys, really. All right. I want to take you out to this because Sadie Flores is in a lot of trouble. How do you get done with grooming in a middle school? How does that happen? Here's a photo. That is her. And I want to take you out to WHAS 11. And I have more photos of her. I'll bring them to you in a minute. But what are they calling it? Sadie Flores of Mayfield is accused of having an improper relationship with a student, and they're saying it is a Class D felony under Kentucky law that took effect only this year on July 15. And they're saying here she was accused of having an improper relationship with a student in the school district while employed as a teacher at Graves County Middle School. How do you get done with a middle school offense? And that she is due to go to court later this week. This is actually from the jail. Here, I want to get this one up here. This is actually her mugshot. And there you go. Missy said, I didn't get a notification. That's not nice. Who did not give a notification to Missy? Hand it over. Stop stealing other people's notifications. All right. I want to talk to you more about this woman here. Charged with grooming a minor. That is the definition of it. So the accusation that we know, she's accused of that improper relationship, including attempts to manipulate and expressions of love. They're saying after the school district reported the allegations, the Graves County Sheriff's Office arrested her following an investigation that included seizing electronic records. And she is still in jail. It says that they've taken her to another county prison to wait for trial, basically. She may bond out between now and then, but that is what it looks like. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Here we go. I'm going to take you to WHAS.
New here at 4 o'clock, a middle school teacher in Graves County, Kentucky, which is the Mayfield area, was arrested Friday for having an inappropriate relationship with a student. The Graves County Sheriff's Office says 25-year-old Sadie Flores was charged with grooming a minor. She was accused of having an improper relationship with a student in the school district while she was employed as a teacher at Graves County Middle School. The school district first received the allegation, then immediately reported it to the Graves County Sheriff's Office. Graves County School Superintendent Mac Madding said in part, quote, because this is an ongoing legal and personnel matter, we are limited in the information we can publicly share. However, we want to assure our families that the safety and well-being of our students is our highest priority.
So I don't know what to tell you guys. Another female teacher again. It feels like every Tuesday I'm able to bring you a new female teacher who's been done with this type of an offense. It's very bizarre. I am so confused by how come we have so many of these teachers across the country doing this. I just don't understand. I really don't. Rearrested. Apparently there was another one. They're saying this is her, but does that look like her? I don't think it does. This is from a different. Nah, that's a different woman. They're saying that's her. Nah, it's not. Let's see. According to the Graves County Sheriff's Office, 25-year-old Sadie Flores was arrested on Friday just after 3 p.m. and was hit with those charges. The department reports that the charges stem from a law that only went into effect a month and a half ago. That is very interesting. I did not know that they had changed their laws in Kentucky in relation to this. So, something to keep an eye out. Something to keep an eye out for in Kentucky. I had no idea they changed it. Under what law? So they must have changed their grooming a minor law in Kentucky. Improper relationship with a student of the district. Okay. They're saying here, according to the Graves County superintendent, she was only hired last year as a special education teacher. So she was working with like kids who have developmental delays and kids who need extra attention. Huh. Oh, really? Hold on. Kathy, I'll show that in a minute. I'll show that near the end, my friend. But that is very funny. So yeah, another teacher. I don't have too much more information on that. Like you heard, the county is not allowing too much of what happened, but they're saying because it is an ongoing legal and personnel matter, we are limited in what we can share. We take any allegation involving the safety of a child or professional conduct as an employee extremely seriously. One to keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens when she has her first court appearance and whether we get more information. But it's just almost routine now that every Tuesday we get another one. Every week, another female teacher. Oh my God, it's another one. Every week. It is very odd. So yeah, when she makes another court appearance and we get more information, I will let you know. But I have even more stories for you, including I want to go back to Texas because why not? We always go to Texas every freaking day, apparently. But I want to give you the longer version of this. Fine. I'll take you to CBS in Texas.
A woman who was on the run for decades, accused of killing her daughter, has now been caught in Mexico. Tarrant County District Attorney saying that Maria Narez was arrested over the weekend. She was indicted in 1999 for the 1996 capital murder of her 3-year-old daughter, Cassandra White. Her alleged actions are very difficult to even begin to comprehend. Warning for you, court documents say that Narez intentionally shook her daughter and then threw her against a wall and a door, causing her death. But before that case could go to trial, Narez ran away and remained a fugitive until now. She is now awaiting extradition back to Tarrant County. A woman.
Can you believe that she somehow dodged authorities for that long? I would have thought this is what we talk about when some people run and they make it across the border. Sometimes they don't come back. Like the authorities just can't find them. It's not always like, oh, they ran across the border and now the FBI found them. It doesn't always happen in that way. And this one goes to show that sometimes they can get away with it for a long period of time. 1999. You think of all the things that have happened since then. since that point, and we're only just hearing about her being picked up now. So it says, before the case could go to trial, Nares fled and remained a fugitive for decades. She was arrested on Saturday in Mexico. Her daughter died mid-November 1996 after Nares allegedly shook her and threw her into a wall, hitting her head on a door. And this is apparently according to the 1999 Tarrant County grand jury indictment that came out around that time. Nares was indicted on capital murder in April 1997. She didn't show up for court after her bond was reduced to $25,000 and a warrant was issued for her in late 1997, after which time she had escaped the country. It says here, according to the Tarrant County DA, the DA's office never gave up looking for her and hoping to bring her back to answer those charges for what she had done to her daughter. That's what she looked like back in 1999. And I don't know if we've got a photo of her today. She's now 48 years old, was arrested in Mexico following a joint investigation with law enforcement partners. What else do we have here? So she is facing an extradition hearing in Mexico to head back to Tarrant County. So it won't be until she makes it back to Tarrant County in Texas that we get a photo. So they're saying Mexican authorities are not allowing a photo of her at this time. I'm just trying to see if I can find another one. Um, no, I cannot find a new photo of her, but she is facing capital murder for what she did to her daughter. Yeah, so they originally she had a much higher bond. They lowered it to 25,000. She posted that bond with the court and then fled the country. She officially forfeited that bond in late 1997, but she's been on the run for 30 years. That is a hell of a long time. Just trying to see if we can find more about it. Unfortunately not, but, again, if I get more on it, I'll bring it to you, but that is a long time. Yeah, it must have been, 1997, 30 years. She would have been what, 18, 17, 18 at the time? Yeah, so she was a very young mum, and then for the majority of her adult life, she's been on the run in Mexico, literally on the run. I don't know how that would feel, but she sort of deserves it for killing her daughter. Imagine that, throwing your kid against a wall and door to the point that they are killed. That is horrific. When I know more, I'll let you know, but that is all the information we have, that she has been picked up and waiting extradition to Tarrant County. Um, there was one more. There was one more about a story from last year, and it happens in New York, but I'm just trying to see if I can. Corkwood show the note. Yes. Here, I want to take you to WNYT, News Channel 13, Albany. And this case has a different update. So here.
Back here outside of the Essex County Courthouse, where right now witnesses are testifying in the murder trial of Luciano Fratellini, the father accused of killing his 9-year-old daughter. Melina Fratellini drowned. She was found in a shallow marsh For hours this afternoon, the Warren County Sheriff's Patrol officer who was the first to speak with Fratelline the night he was reported the night he reported his daughter had been kidnapped. He has been testifying for hours now, and he's been describing the interaction with Fratelline that night. Police say Fratelline called 911 on July 19th from Lake George, saying his daughter had been kidnapped. Here's a portion of that call and what happened next.
Already a Luciano subject, bit of a language barrier. His 9-year-old daughter was possibly abducted in a white van, south on the interstate. Would have occurred at the rest area southbound.
Around 1:30 the next morning, an Amber Alert went out for Melina Fratelline. That morning, police started an organized search of Ticonderoga. At 10:50 a.m., Melina was found. Investigators say her body was left in Ticonderoga off Route 74 under a log in a shallow pond near Eagle Lake. The Amber Alert was canceled later that afternoon, and the next day, police gave an update delivering a tragic turn in this case.
Sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother, and before Monsieur Fratelline's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melina and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement.
Again, Luciano Fratelline is charged with second-degree murder. Throughout the opening statements and the testimony today, Fratelline has been demonstrative at times in court, shaking his head, standing up when witnesses identify him, speaking with his attorneys constantly. We talked about the prosecution's opening statements. The defense spoke for...
So you go, ping, that's a very old case. What is the boring update here? Well, no, it's not a boring update. I think anytime someone does that to their kid, we should make it known. And he has been found guilty by that jury, which I think is a great outcome. Here's a photo of what he looks like now after his capture. And there's his beautiful daughter who, you hear these details of him killing her. She fails to return home. There's an Amber Alert issued, but he lies about it, saying men kidnapped her and put her into a white van. Her body was found after in a shallow pond under a rock. He said he's guilty of drowning his daughter in a pond, hiding her body under a tree and a large rock during a vacation to New York State last summer. So he's been convicted of second-degree murder, concealment of a human corpse in the death of his daughter Melina, and well done to that jury. They're saying he was found guilty on each count. So good work for something that felt like for a long time no one was really gonna, it felt like this one took a long time to get through the court, even though it was only a year ago. Good work, very good work. That poor girl, what did she ever do to be killed by her own father? It is, I don't envy that jury's job of having to listen to all that child evidence, but hey, a guilty verdict handed down, and good news, good news. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here I can tell you about it. So the mum said during the trial that the 9-year-old didn't want to travel overseas with dad before he allegedly murdered her. So maybe she was kicking up a fuss about that. An autopsy showed her death was asphyxia due to drowning and that her manner of death was homicide. They're saying Sunday, July 21st, 2025, Luciano was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, concealment of a human corpse, and he had pled not guilty to all charges. His trial began July 23rd. It is now going into a sentencing phase, which hopefully life in jail would be good. Life in jail would be brilliant. But found guilty of her murder. What a sweet kid, man. All because she wasn't doing what he wanted her to do, or he was trying to get back at the mum. I don't know. You never know what goes through a killer's head, yet alone the child's father. So good work to them. Good work to them. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. There's no charge for it. Yeah, no charge for that. Don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the entirety of this trial, being that it's New York. There's no television cameras and things like that, no live streaming. So I think this one just came out through the media. All right. What are you guys talking about? The policeman reporting it didn't sound convinced. No. So two random guys in a white van came? Yeah, it didn't sound good, did it? Oh, you guys talking? Yeah, someone told me about this before that Chris Watts is going to get remarried. Good luck to her. Good luck. He is a womanizer. There was a woman actually a few weeks ago. There was a woman trying to sell her story to media outlets around the world, saying that she was the other mistress to Chris Watts. Have you seen that? There was this woman basically trying to sell media to different places saying Chris was in love with me at the same time, and she was all over the media a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it's related to this, but Chris. Yeah, there was this she said that she was the other woman. No idea. No idea if she really is. Watts is in a relationship with a woman named Lizzie Henderson. She's a 39-year-old former realtor who moved from Ohio to Wisconsin to be closer to the prison. You are an absolute crackhead. You are a crackhead if you're going to go have anything to do with this guy. You are a broken individual. Why would you do that? I don't understand why people have this infatuation with murderers. Like, it's not like I'm going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write love letters to Erin Patterson and hope that she falls in love with me. I don't understand this fascination with falling in love with murderers behind bars. Is it for notoriety? Is it because you want to be so close to the crime? Is it because you're infatuated with the actual true crime version of the story? Like, what is it? And yeah, I think she's crackers for wanting anything to do with him. This is a guy who killed his own children and his wife. He had a beautiful family, something any man would be lucky to have. And he thought the grass was greener on the other side. I'm just trying to see if is there a photo of this woman? I can't seem to find a photo of her, but yeah, I can't seem to find a photo of this woman. But yeah, here I'm just trying to see. This is her here. Okay. Apparently this is her. Not my reporting. This comes from a website. Apparently this is her. But we'll see. Is she writing a book? Maybe. Maybe. She's not right in the head. This is a guy who killed his beautiful wife and then killed his lovely children, and you would trust to be around him even for 1 second on a conjugal visit? Never. What if he murdered you in the conjugal van? Like, it's like, how could you trust to be alone with him ever? Astro said he was a self-made millionaire, left DNA evidence. Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that. Sweetness said both Mendez brothers were married too, weren't they? I thought it was only one of them. No. I thought only one had a girlfriend or a wife or something. I thought only one did. I'm not sure. I haven't really done a lot on the Mendez brothers. Sweetness said I'll bet he did it because now that she's dead, she can never tell him about the essay. The little girl from the other one? Possibly. This little girl? Maybe, but I don't see. I mean, it doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I just don't have. Yeah, let me just have a look. I don't see anything like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't see anything like that. Not even an allegation of it. Not even like any sort of allegation. But what I see is investigators recovered notes written by him expressing animosity towards the mother and detailing plans to end Melina's suffering, which prosecutors argued referred to custody battle than any form of physical or sexual abuse. So they're saying it was more like a custody battle gone wrong, that type of thing. Yeah, basically. Richard Ramirez. Yeah. Yep. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Where's he getting married? Where's the venue? Is he gonna take Madison Square Garden like Taylor Swift? Let's see. The couple has applied to marry through the prison system, while Henderson has reportedly begun using the last name Watts and wears a ring. Really? Jesus Christ. Unless you've touched her ring, she shouldn't get one either. There is no official confirmation that a formal wedding ceremony has been completed yet. Okay. Watts is serving multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. What kind of marriage could this be? I'm so confused about what type of marriage they could possibly have. I mean, there has been women that have got pregnant when their husbands have been in jail for life sentences, but why would you want to pass on that DNA? This is a guy who basically terminated his DNA lineage with his wife. Why would you ever do that again? I mean, this is a guy that snuffed out his own, you know, continuation of his DNA line. Bizarre. Gail said, why do they get a chance of life when his wife and kids don't get that privilege? Yeah, I don't understand why they let them have marriages in jail. By golly, I think he doesn't got it. Yeah. Look, good luck to her, I guess. I think she's absolutely batshit insane for doing it. Like, what he did to his wife and those girls, I would never trust him around any other human ever. Like, to do that all because you're a womanizer. All because you can't stop impregnating women, whether it's your wife or other women, and you didn't want your wife to find out about really the other women. And that's what this all boiled down to, is because you had a mistress and you didn't want your pregnant wife to find out about it. Like, it's just, I just can't stand him. Like, I think he's the weakest of weak men. He is the weakest guy on earth. To do that to your own children, you shouldn't deserve anything. Yeah, no, F her. She's definitely got some screws loose. I don't understand women who think that there's like, I reckon if you go back and check like all these women that have dated serial killers in jail, you'll find most of them have done it for notoriety, and most of them have done it to be someone, that they want to be someone in life. They've tried other avenues and it hasn't worked. So they've gone, you know what I could do? I could marry a serial killer. Guarantee it. It's not for love. There's no such thing as love with a serial killer. Yeah, he's nasty. The lady's proud to be the other woman now. She might be the other woman. I don't know how many mistresses he had, but he had a few. There was one, I swear, there was one in the paper like a week ago that was trying to sell a story. Hold on, I'll find it. There was a new mistress in the paper, not Nikki. It was Amanda McCannon. Is that her? Yes, it is. A woman named Amanda McCannon. That is who came out. Chris Watts. Um, I think is it her? I don't know. There's been a few of them. I think this is the one that's been in the paper. I think this is the one that's been on a bunch of different stories in the different newspapers over the last like 2 months or so. And she's been selling her story to anyone who will listen about how her and Chris Watts had a thing and a connection and they met on Tinder. Chipmunk said, "No guy wants me, go for rock bottom." Well, serial killer who killed his family, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. They're saying there's no marriage. No one has applied for a wedding license in the prison. So if no one's applied for one, they're not getting married, are they? Until that day, until we can actually see that the prison has approved it, then we'll have to just wait and see. But it says here the couple has submitted marriage requests through the prison system, and Henderson has reportedly started using the last name Watts, but it doesn't say like it's been approved yet. Has he actually remarried her though? Hold on, I'm going to find out. Copy link. All right. Chris Watts, secret prison marriage, photos of smitten new wife Lizzie Watts. Ugh. This is her apparently. Oh, they've got new photos of her. Let's have a look. There you go. That is photos of her visiting him in prison. And what else have we got? So, oh, she has a wedding ring. Oh my God. Ladies, look. She has a wedding ring that looks like it came from a gumball machine outside the local Starbucks. Let's see. I mean, would he even have any money left after being sued to oblivion or having to settle whatever in the wake of his court case? I don't even know if he's got any money left. When contacted via the mail, they contacted her on phone. Henderson spoke in a scattered manner and her responses were often disjointed. No way, you don't say. She confirmed she was in a relationship with Watts. Maybe psychosis, maybe? And admitted that it could be perceived as weird. No, girl, we definitely think it's weird. We don't perceive it to be weird. We know it to be weird. And how they met, she said how things began is between him, and God, and the prison board. When asked about Watt's crimes, Henderson responded, "How I feel about it, he knows. He knows how I feel." Okay. She continued, "I don't know all the people involved, but I would want to respect them." I thought you said it was between you, God, and him. How many more people are involved? Henderson then described the killings as something harsh for anyone to experience. For him or the murder victims that he killed? Which ones? Henderson and Watt's relationship is only the latest secret romance uncovered by newspapers. Last month, in a sit down interview, a woman named Amanda McCannon claimed to have a love affair with Watts in 2017 and early 2018. There you go. So he is a serial womanizer, and now he's picked up apparently someone who can't string a sentence together and can't answer basic questions. I think she thinks this is her meal ticket. That if she marries Chris Watts, she is going to be famous and get a lot of interviews and get paid for it. That's what I think. There's her lifting some water. Riveting storytelling there. Chipmunk said, is that a wart or a pair of rings? I don't know what it is. It's something. Timu wedding ring? It is a little bit. Here, I'll put it back on for you. There you go. It's silver. What looks silver to be a start. It doesn't look gold. Neither of these look like gold. And it's quite a small stone. Quite a, for someone you love apparently and want to remarry with. She deserves a bigger ring, Chris. You got to get something that's like 5 carats. Like, you got to show your love. You got to do it. None of this gumball ring. Let's see. A heart tattoo. Yeah, under the rings. Definitely looks like some sort of tattoo. Possibly a heart. Or it's a dark mole, maybe. So, yeah, like, guys, when you hear those words that the male wrote, when we called her on the phone, she spoke in a scattered way. Definitely in speech and in mind, might be connected. Very scattered. Yeah, when contacted by the Daily Mail via phone, Henderson spoke in a scattered manner, and her responses were often disjointed. You don't say. Were you expecting a scholarly conversation with her? Debating the meaning of life. Maybe the war in Middle East. Were you asking for foreign policy? Is that what you were asking about? No? Okay. Because I don't think she's up for a conversation in that way. Yeah, look, I think it's just for just just for show. It is just for notoriety. I don't think it's for love or anything. Yes, cover up white gold platinum. I doubt it. Sweetness said he owes lots of dollars to Shannon's parents. That's what I mean. Where would the money come from to buy a ring? He doesn't have any money left. He would have to have paid the majority of what he owned in the home, any savings to the court, but also to probably the parents. So let's have a look. Chris Watts, what happened to all his money? Let's see. So, before the murders, he and his wife struggled with heavy consumer debt and filed for bankruptcy in 2015. Following his conviction, he was ordered by the court to pay a $6 million wrongful death judgment to Shannon's parents, preventing him from ever profiting from his crimes. So, I don't know where he would ever be getting money for a ring. They're saying court filings revealed nearly empty bank accounts at the time, including savings balances of $3.51 and $6, including a checking balance of around $860. At the time of the murders, Chris earned roughly $61,000 a year at the petroleum company. So this guy is not supposed to have any money. They're saying here that all assets that he ever had, he didn't even have many, were sold or gotten rid of, and that he doesn't have any cash at all. And that if he did, it would have gone to the wrongful death lawsuit and settlement that he owes money to. So that's the question I have. Did she buy her own ring? Because if she bought her own ring, then this whole thing is a scam. Like, how can you get married when the guy didn't buy the ring and you bought it for yourself? That's like make believe. That's like going out on a date and telling your work friends the next day, "I had a hot date last night," and they're like, "Did you?" You're like, "Yeah, I had a great guy. I was with a guy named Derek." But secretly, your boyfriend was actually the battery-operated thing that you have in your drawer next to your bed. That's the same thing as this if she bought her own ring. It's not the same, not quite the same. It's a little bit different, maybe not quite the truth. So yeah, that's very similar. Danny said they don't sell rings at the canteen. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe there's like a prison canteen where you can get like a gumball ring. Um, Chipmunk said, "Can't really wrap my head around anyone marrying him. Talk about baggage galore. Baggage. Talk about like a ledger dripping in blood of his wife and his own children. That comes first." All right. Yeah, I hope that's your husband's name, Chipmunk. Content said some prisoners have cell folks. Yeah, cell folks. Yeah, cell phones. They live stream on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. That's not a real word, Ping. TikTok. Yeah, I've seen it too. Yeah, I don't know about wedding rings, so we'll have to wait and see. Sweetness said, "I wonder what her family says about her." Well, in the photos that I just brought you, her mama is there. Here, I'll show you. There's a photo of her and her mama. So maybe mama's involved. Here you go. There's mom, and maybe mum is involved because it seems like mum knows all about it. Knows all about her daughter is marrying a quadruple murderer. Danny said, "No way she believes in God." I don't know. I don't know her. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she believes in Peter. I don't know. I bet her mama is proud. Guys, this will probably be one of 50 marriages that Chris Watts goes through in prison with multiple women over his lifetime in jail. I guarantee it. This will not be the first, it won't be the last, and there'll probably be 50 more. This is interesting. At DCI, where Chris Watts is held, inmates are prohibited from any physical contact until the visit ends when they are given 10 seconds to embrace. Oh, I mean, most guys can do that very easily. Conjugal visits are not allowed. Okay. Johnson said Henderson was googly eyed and absolutely smitten with Watts and really excited to take a picture with him. So she's a true crime fanatic. That's what it is. Then, as the visit ended, Watts began kissing her. Okay. They hugged the whole 10 seconds while they were kissing. Okay. As they parted, Johnson heard Watts say, "I'll see you next time." And she said, "I can't wait to see you again. I love you." Watts replied, "I love you too." I think these two have a very warped view of what love is. I don't believe Chris Watts can love anyone ever. If he was able to love anyone, he wouldn't have killed his beautiful wife and his beautiful children. There is no way. Like there's no way this guy has love for anyone. Anyone but himself. No one. This guy has love for no one. So he can continue with his sham marriage and this woman who's all over him for whatever. Sexy time for 10 seconds. That's right. They're like, "Go." They have a stopwatch and they're like, "All right, it's done. You can do it. You can finish off on your next visit next week. You get 10 seconds at the end." Um, Content Angel said his daughter looks just like him. You have to be sick to do that, right? Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to last. I doubt it. Um, yeah. Look, whatever. I love that they're not allowed conjugal visits. That's so funny. What is she ever going to do? You know what she's going to do? Wait, how old is she? How old is this woman? She's only 30. Oh, no, that was Shannon. Shannon was 34. How old is this woman? 40. No, she's 39. You know what she's going to do. I guarantee you, I have a funny feeling what they're going to do. That 10 seconds, I have a funny feeling. You know the old turkey baster method? Maybe she is going to do that somehow, some way, and maybe she's going to try have a kid with Chris Watts, somehow with no conjugal visits allowed. I mean, prisoners have thought up really weird ways to do this type of stuff before, and I just have a funny feeling that's going to happen pretty soon. She's older than he is? No, he's 41 and she's 39. So no, he's older than her. She's 2 years younger than him apparently. So there you go. Maybe there'll be some little more Watts running around, which I think is a travesty to the memory of his own children he had with Shannon. If he does somehow allow himself to give away his baby batter and get her pregnant, it's just so wrong on so many levels. Yeah. Sweeter said, I wonder how much he would make writing a book. I reckon that's all it is. It's got to be a money making exercise. It's just some sort of money scheme. All right, look, no more Chris Watts. He's a absolute dork. He can stay in prison. And I'll see what else I have. I had heaps of stories tonight. Hold on. What's this one here? Do you guys want to? Why are the stories so grim this week? Can't we have an old fashioned whodunit? I've got a really bad one from Kansas City, and I'm just trying to get to it. That's not right, is it? A Kansas City father has gunned down his 4 children and their mother before turning the gun on himself. His name is Ronald Williams Sr. He made a chilling 911 call on Tuesday morning. Far out. Let me see if I can just get you the update for this.
Well, thank you for being here. Obviously, this is a very tragic day in our community. At approximately 8:50 a.m., our officers received a 911 call from a male individual who stated that he had killed his entire family and he was getting ready to kill himself. Fortunately, officers were in the area working another incident and responded pretty much immediately. First officer on scene was approaching the house when they heard a single gunshot. At that point, they retreated. There was no other indication of any other loss of life, and so standard protocol was to set up a perimeter and start working the incident as a barricade situation. At approximately 10:57 a.m., after enough backup and other methods had been exhausted, the decision was made to attempt to breach the front door just to see if they could see inside what was occurring. Immediately, the door was breached and officers called for assistance and medical. There inside, they located 6 individuals deceased. Of those 6, included 1 male suspect, 1 female resident, and a total of 4 children ages 3 to 9. At this time, due to the size and scope, the decision was made to call the Kansas Bureau of Investigations for assistance. They responded, and at that time, we started just coordinated efforts to work through the scene. I want to thank these other agencies that helped, the Cali County Sheriff's Office, Winfield Fire and EMS, the Southern Kansas SWAT Team, the Kansas Highway Patrol, and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I want to make something very clear to the community. This was an isolated incident. There was no ongoing threat. However, as hard as this is to hear, but I want to specifically thank the Kansas Bureau of Investigations for assisting in this case.
Hello, I'm Jason Diaz, the special agent in charge with the KBI. This morning we were called by the Winfield Police Department to assist with the matter you just heard about. Whenever we arrived on scene, we did activate special agents, and which would be the investigative asset, as well as our crime scene response team. Whenever we arrived on scene, we confirmed that there were indeed 6 deceased individuals inside the residence, and I'm actually going to read off their names now. The suspect in this, the shooter, is Ronald H. Williams Sr., a 53-year-old male, and that's spelled R-O-N-A-L-D-H Williams, W-I-L-L-I-A-M-S Sr. The 5 other victims in this case are Kelly L. George, a 44-year-old female. It's Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y, L. George, G-E-O-R-G-E. The next victim is Carol A. Williams, C-A-R-O-L-A. Williams.
Look, I'd love to sit here and hear a guy spell out names letter by letter, but I think I can tell you the information faster than that. Look, a very sad story. How a guy, he's a family annihilator basically, and he has wiped out every member of that family. I think it's horrible. Just let me jump back to my link. Yeah, Ronald Williams Sr. made a chilling 911 call Tuesday morning telling dispatchers he had just killed his entire family in their Winfield home and was preparing to shoot himself. And when they got in the home, they found the 44-year-old Kelly George, Carol A. Williams, Ronald H. Williams, Sarah K. Williams, and 3-year-old Kelly M. Margie Williams. Police said, sorry, I'm going to cough. Police said Williams had been exhibiting erratic behavior for some time, but admitted officers never imagined it would culminate in the deaths in the entire family. Here's a photo of him. What I think is interesting is the cops admit to having a prior history with him and that they had had contact with the family before. I think it's really, really sad. 5 members wiped out all in one go. They're saying that when they started investigating him, they discovered that he had a long criminal record in Kansas, including an incident nearly 3 decades ago that had him registered as a SO in the state. He also used a bunch of different aliases, including Freddie Williams, Laren Williams, Jerome Williams, and was convicted in September of 1998 of attempted indecent liberties with a child involving a 15-year-old girl. So he's done some very naughty things, naughty criminal. And they're saying, according to the KBI, he is on the registered offenders list, and the offense happened in June of 1997 when he was in his 20s. He's also faced multiple felonies, including for drugs, battery, assault on a law enforcement officer, burglary, attempted R-word, kidnapping, and more incidents ranging from 1995 to 2024. He has faced felony charges in Wyandotte, Johnson, and Franklin counties throughout that time. So he's well known to authorities, well known. The fact that the authorities in multiple counties know of him, have been in contact with him or had him in their custody is frightening, really frightening. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a update where we might be able to hear a little bit more about the children, unfortunately. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to get you. There's one that actually shows you the family home, and I wanted to do that, but it's being a bit of a jerk. Hold on. Okay, apparently I cannot play it to you, which is very annoying. I'm sorry about that. Unless we can go here. Yep, we might be able to. Give me 1 second, guys. This thing is being really annoying. Ah, hold on. I'm gonna have to refresh it. Actually, it's being such a jerk that I can't. Like every time I go near that volume thing to unmute it for you, it like jumps down. It's really annoying. Jeez. No, I cannot play it for you because it's just being an absolute jerk. Sorry, guys. I'd love to show you this one because it tells you more about the family. All right, we're gonna have to go to WKRC. Yeah. All right, I'll take you to WKRC. Hopefully, they can play it from that one. Geez, what a jerk of a stupid thing. Death of a 7-year-old boy. No, we're not doing that one. Okay, W. I'll try one more time and I'll see if it's there and we'll play it because I really want to show you the property. No. Okay, sorry guys. For some reason it won't let me play it. It's being an absolute jerk. Why is it acting like this? Can we go here? All right, let's try this. No. It's got this weird like glitch in it, guys, where every time you go to try to unmute it, it just kind of like, here, I'll show you again. Look. Every time I get my mouse near it, I can't do it. So you guys can't watch it. It's like a puzzle. You can't undo the volume for you guys. How stupid. So yeah, we can't watch it unfortunately. Sorry. Sometimes these things work out, sometimes they don't. That was very, very odd. And there's no there is no other update for it, unfortunately. I'll try one more place and let's see if they have it. Let me check.
Breaking now, at least 6 people are dead in southern Kansas after a mass shooting in Winfield. That is about 40 miles southeast of Wichita. The KBI tells us it happened this morning, and the shooter is believed to be among the dead. Authorities are planning to give an update at 5:45. You can watch that live on the KCTV 5 Plus app. It is free on your smart TV or streaming device of choice. Again, that is the KCTV 5 News app.
And that was the other update, the short one, unfortunately. There you go. That's really sad. If they knew about this guy for that long, he had been in and out of custody. I mean, you can't arrest people for crimes they haven't committed, obviously. But the fact that they're like, oh, yeah, we've had contact with him, he's been displaying erratic behavior for weeks. I don't know what else. Like, what other red flags can you throw up? The fact that they've had multiple call outs. Here, In recent weeks, police had received several call-outs about Williams confronting and yelling at people. They're saying, I can't see anything that would have indicated that we would be where we are today, adding that the cop has never seen a case like this in more than 20 years on the force. I mean, I do agree with them that you can't just arrest people for yelling at people, but if you think this guy has a psychiatric problem that is so severe, uh, I don't I don't know what to do for you other than yeah, I don't know what to do for you. What the hell? Sorry, a mugshot just came up on my screen and I was like, what is up with this guy? He looks like he's made out of plastic. I'm going to show it to you. Don't be scared. This popped up on my screen, and for a second, I thought it was a doll. I thought this was a doll. And I was like, whoa, that's a freaky doll. No, this is not a doll. This is a murder suspect from Texas. And I was researching the other story we're talking about this family annihilator. And this just popped up on my screen like really big and just really randomly. And I was like, who is this guy? Anyway, I looked it up. He is a homicide suspect in Texas. And he is now under arrest. He fatally stabbed his mother and father to death. No, he fatally stabbed his mother and he stabbed his father. His mother died, but his father survived. So if you want to know who that guy is, he's a 32-year-old man from League City in Houston, I'm guessing. And he's accused of stabbing his own mother to death. They're saying this was from a different one from what's his name? That would be good. Jose Pelaez? No, Juan Jose Uribe Pelaez. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but he's 32 years old, and yeah, he stabbed both his parents, almost killed his father, and unfortunately killed his mother. They're saying here that he's currently being held in custody. His father is recovering in hospital, but his mum was pronounced dead. He's been charged with murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, causing serious bodily harm, family violence. Both charges have a combined total of $250,000 bond. He has a bond totaling $500,000 for all the charges. So this was in League City in Houston, I'm guessing, in Texas. So that went down a couple of days ago. Why that popped up on my screen looking for this other family annihilator that didn't even happen in Texas, but I know it was like a jump scare. I was like, oh my God, what's this got to do with the one we're talking about? Anyway, that's what he is. He is a murder suspect out of League City. And like you heard, killed his mother. I don't have much more than that, but yeah, he's in custody at this time. Here, I just want to find out more about the one we're talking about out of Kansas. It is a very, very it's really weird. Apparently, some of the news stations in America have not updated their SSL certificates, and every time I try to enter them, they're like, no, um, KBTX News could be trying to steal your information. So they need to update their security. Hold on. Trying to find out more about this one that we're just talking about. Yeah, we go to KSLA maybe. They're calling it a very tragic day. 6 dead, including 4 children, after, yeah, the father called 911 and basically called in his own murder scene. Here's the home, by the way. I'll show it to you. The scene is right here. It's the house right there. Right here, sorry. Sorry. Right here. And what are they saying? Uh, All of the people, including the women and the male suspect, were found dead with gunshot wounds. All of them. That's brutal. Yeah, this guy has a very long criminal history. Here, I got one last video for you.
Tragedy in a small town. Tonight, investigators in Kansas are trying to figure out why a man killed his entire family, including 4 children.
The KBI says Ronald Williams then shot and killed himself. It happened this morning in Winfield, which is about 40 miles southeast of Wichita. Sophia Veronica has been there all day, and she joins us now live with the latest. Sophia.
Yeah, a tragic day here in Winfield as investigators now work to answer the question, why? You're going to hear the chief of police saying that in his 20 years in law enforcement, he's never seen a more difficult day than this. And there are 5 victims, 4 of them children, and police know this will be hard on this small community. Here's what we know tonight. It started with this call Winfield police received at 8:50 this morning. A man saying he had killed his family and was planning to kill himself. Police shut down the road and attempted to talk to him. When they entered the house about 2 hours later, they found him dead along with 5 other people, a female victim and 4 children between the ages of 3 and 9. The KBI is still investigating, telling me they're searching for a motive. Local police did confirm they had interactions with the suspect in the past, although they wouldn't confirm how recent those interactions were. Winfield's chief of police adding, this is a tragic day for everyone involved.
We had numerous peer support folks from all over the state that came down to assist. We did some initial debriefings, and there'll be more work on that. I mean, it's not a single day where we provide them resources and then they're fine. I mean, obviously this was in my 20 plus years one of the hardest things I've ever seen, and so our goal will be to continue to support them past today and provide them the resources that they're going to need.
The KBI says they are still processing the scene, so if you live in the area, you may continue to see a police presence. But they also want to reassure people they believe this was an isolated incident and there is no further danger to the community at this time.
Sad story. We just have far too many of them. Like, I feel like every couple of days we read about someone who has killed their entire family, wiped out like the wife, the children, the grandchildren, everyone. And I wish we did less of them. I really did. I I always go, why can't we just have a serial killer? But they're just as bad. I just want to go back to having a whodunit. Why can't we have a whodunit? Those are at least more interesting than like, hey, more people died. Hey, more people died. Hey, some more people died. I would really like if we could have more of like a mystery where we have some like CCTV cameras or something where we could try and pick apart the footage. That would be, a missing person or something. Wait, I want to show you something. Watch this. If you're a football player in America right now, it is training camp and a lot of the college ones are getting ready for their season to start. Maybe people should be careful about where they store their helmets. And I don't mean that as a euphemism, not the one in your pants, the one you put on your head. But what about if you went to go put on your helmet and there was a poisonous water moccasin in your helmet? And it is so blended in there, I don't know how it got into that back bit behind the padding. But if you had a water moccasin in your helmet, I think you would be afraid. I don't know how that happens or how a snake gets into a football player's helmet like that. If you put that on your head, it would literally bite you several times. Like there's the head right at the top, right here. And you can see the eye of the snake. What the hell? This happened in Arkansas, and it said here, they made the shock discovery of the creature wriggling after the player noticed unusual movement inside the helmet and flagged the problem to his defensive coach. Oh my god. The snake eventually determined to be a water moccasin was hiding underneath the helmet's padding, making it difficult to remove as it was roughly 2 feet long. Holy crap. Here's a photo of the snake after it got out. That was in the helmet. That doesn't even look like it could even fit in there. Like that other photo, how is there a water moccasin that big in the helmet? Look at it. It doesn't even look like there is a snake of that magnitude in there. That is crazy. What the hell? There it is. There it is again. That kid was running around on the football field with that in his helmet. I'm an Australian. We have snakes everywhere here too, but I don't think I've ever heard of one being this large. And look how girthy that snake is. That is a fat water moccasin. And I don't know how that thing got in a freaking helmet. How would you not notice it in the helmet? That is insane. I don't know how that got in there. Like, you look at that other photo, that doesn't look like it can even fit. Like, there's the head of the water moccasin. There's a little bit of its body, but where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of that giant snake? Like, there he is. Let me see if I can find, maybe they did a local, they ended up having to they put it in a bucket to try and like wash it out to see if it could get the snake out. There you go. Let me see if I can find a localized reporting on it. Hold on. The kid was wearing it on his head for an hour. An hour. That kid had it on his head for 1 hour. What the hell?
I've removed a snake out of a car vent, in the engine, purses, backpacks, in a helmet, never.
It's an opponent that probably won't end up on this season's football schedule.
It's kind of unbelievable.
But it's a matchup the Maumelle High School football team had to face anyway. While at practice Thursday, one player noticed a snake in his helmet, quickly turning that practice into a real deal situation.
When the officers got there and stuff, they examined the helmet, and at that time they could see that there was a snake in the helmet. They verified it was not a copperhead, but it possibly was a cottonmouth or a water snake.
Chris Davis with Maumelle Animal Services says they responded to the high school after a report of a copperhead in a football helmet. Instead, it was actually a cottonmouth, a venomous snake known to hide out in dark, sheltered places.
The cottonmouth, in my opinion, is probably the second most venomous snake here in Arkansas. I would say the rattlesnake is probably the number one. If this snake would have bit the child, it probably would have been very fatal.
The snake was snuggled in between padding of the helmet. This made it hard to remove. Davis says they had to flood the snake out in order to grab it, bringing home a win for the Hornets.
Just the F. The F. You see that footage at the end there where they grab that snake. Look how that snake is a monster. That is a huge snake. Look at that. How the hell was that kid wearing that helmet for over an hour? How? And the kid's like, oh, coach, there's like something going on with my helmet. I feel movement in my helmet. That kid is so lucky he did not get bit several times on his head. A water moccasin biting you on the head, very bad deal. Very bad deal. That is a new one. I have never ever heard of a water moccasin. Like they said, normally they live around the waterways, being somehow in a helmet. That is it's just like the fattest snake I've ever seen as well. That thing is well fed wherever it's been hiding. And how it's probably been living in the equipment room. I bet you it lives in the equipment room. And it's probably just been hanging out in there for ages. Like that thing's insane. There's a snake in my boots. Yeah. Toy Story. There's a snake in my boots. You've heard of a cat in a hat? Well, now you have giant water moccasin in a football helmet. That is one of the craziest stories. What the hell? And then the only way to get it out was they flooded the bucket with water. Like they put the helmet in there, flooded it, like you saw on the video, to kind of flush the snake out because it's a water snake, and they wanted it out of the helmet. But just how it got in there and how it shrunk itself enough to get into the padding, insane. Yeah, 2 foot long. 2 foot long water moccasin. Must be the wrong hat. Yeah, he wore it. Yeah, the kid wore it. He had it on for an hour doing football outside. I just think that is insane. That kid is the luckiest kid on earth. Um, Geez, what a story. I'm just having a look at KRAK to see if there's any other information. Yeah. Davis said the player had potentially been wearing the helmet for nearly an hour and was fortunate not to get bitten. And then they said that they did determine that it was a water moccasin. So, geez, that kid, his family should buy a lottery ticket. Oh, what's this? Oh, just an update, another update out of Arkansas before we go. There was a woman in Arkansas. Her name is 23-year-old Erin Souls. She just was found competent by state psychologists. She is facing murder charges in the death of an 8-year-old in her home daycare. She has been found competent to stand trial. So if you're in Arkansas and you're following that particular trial, she is heading to trial. They have found her competent. So if you're watching that one, she is, yeah, she's heading to trial. She was found competent to stand trial today. This is in Pulaski County in Arkansas. So, yep, fit to stand trial. Yeah, I got a little bit. I might be able to show you a little tiny update for it. Okay. Maybe not. I feel like we know this case. This photo looks really familiar here.
Of a baby in Pulaski County. Police tell us a 23-year-old home daycare operator is facing a capital murder charge after an 8-month-old was found unresponsive and later died. The suspect appearing in court today. Our Maddie Powers was there this morning and brings us the latest. Maddie.
Today's court hearing was brief, but it did set the stage for what comes next in this case.
He died alone. He couldn't say mama. Sorry.
Brianna Russell is still grieving the loss of her 8-month-old nephew, Elijah Flowerday.
He was literally the most pure and innocent soul you could have ever met.
Police say officers found Elijah unresponsive at a daycare, and the boy later died at a hospital. Daycare operator Erin Souls was arrested after investigators determined Elijah's death as a homicide.
My little sister and my mother gave me a call. They were screaming over the phone. You could barely hear what they were saying, and my little sister in the background just kept repeating that she killed her baby. She killed her baby.
Brianna, along with other members of her family, all went to Pulaski County Circuit Court to watch a plea and arraignment hearing for Souls.
She pled not guilty. Right now, we have the decision of the death penalty even being an option.
Right now, Souls is facing a capital murder charge, and Brianna says she and her family plan to be at every hearing, waiting for justice.
I feel like we did this back when he was found deceased. I remember the little photo with the pumpkins and him sitting there. That really rings a bell for me. I'm glad she's been found competent to stand trial. And I can tell you that that death penalty has been removed. So The only thing she could be found is life in prison. So they did remove the death penalty for that one. Psychological, yes, they did. Arkansas, yeah, but she is fit to stand trial. Death penalty has been removed. But yeah, mentally fit. So she won't be able to shirk justice for any longer. And the little boy is 8-month-old Elijah Flowerday. And I'll see if I can show you the photo. It was the cutest little photo. Yeah, this one. This one. This one. Do you guys remember it? It was a little baby with the pumpkins. It was like a spring photo, autumn, fall photo, like this one. I remember this photo with the little pumpkins, and I remember we did the story at the time, probably the day he died or something like that. Did she say he fell, or was this? Oh, it's been a while since I covered this. The little boy died from head trauma, including a skull fracture and multiple brain hemorrhages after being assaulted at an unlicensed in-home daycare on Clifton Drive. They're saying police reported Souls admitted to slamming the infant's head against a hardwood floor 3 times during a diaper change, stated she was frustrated and had a headache. So you take it out on the child? You absolute psychopath. You take it out against an 8-month-old infant. So she's going to stand trial. Good. What an absolute psycho to slam a kid on the floor, on a hardwood floor, like ridiculous. Erin Souls is her name. See if we can show you a photo of this crazy person. Here, this is her. Courtesy of Law and Crime, but this is her, 23 years old, slammed that baby's head on hardwood floor 3 times because she was frustrated and had a headache. Ridiculous. Yeah, how's her headache now? I know. I hope she has one for the rest of her life. The poor parents, man. Yeah, competent to stand trial. They will continue to trial now. She had pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease and had been held in jail without bond. State psychologists deemed her fit to stand trial, concluding she understands the charges and can assist in her own defense. A judge will make the final ruling on her mental competency at a future hearing. So this will continue to trial most likely. But yeah, found fit to stand trial by psychologists. And yeah, what a awful person. And they waived the death penalty in this particular case as well. Yep, so I was being held by. So she was being held at the Arkansas State Hospital, but it sounds like they may actually take her back to jail now. Yeah, so there you go. Competent to stand trial, this psychopath. Yep, that's right. Hey, Thavi, how are you? Hope your husband's doing well. There's little baby. By the way, I have a photo of another criminal. This one, criminal for being too cute, far too cute. I have a criminal's photo, a mugshot, if you will. There you go. It is this criminal of being far too cute. It's her birthday, 2 years old. There you go. Look at this thing. Look at the look in its eyes. Look at it. It's like, where are the treats? Where are the dog treats? That is what it would like for its birthday. Dog treats. This is Kathy's dog, Babs. So it is Babs' birthday, and hopefully Babs is going to get a lot of treats from Mum. And yeah, there you go, birthday girl. Distinctively fabulous. There you go. Dog cake with dog biscuits. Birthday princess. Yes, a criminal of being too cute. Yeah, she's very cute. Her birthday. I don't know what Kathy says. What'd she say? She just turned 2, so just turned 2 years old. There you go. So end the show on something cute. Kathy's dog, and yeah, look at that. Kathy does well with the photos, so she just looks so like mum makes me dress up. Maybe she'll give me treats if I take a good photo. That's what it's like. Yeah, cute doggy. What? Okay. Hey, I have to thank Kathy. Thank you for the jewels, my friend. I appreciate it. Kathy's also very kind, always is a staunch supporter of the channel, and I appreciate it. If it wasn't for people like Kathy and Woman of Steel and Sean and bunch of other people too. By the way, the people with the membership, thank you so much. A lot of people have renewed their memberships before the cutoff. So the cutoff is the 14th of August. That is when the new pricing structure is being brought in by YouTube. I really appreciate it. And to all the people who renewed their membership in the last couple of weeks, you guys are very kind. You will end up on our ending video. It is just about done. I feel like I say that all the time, but sometimes I think I'm a perfectionist with things and I keep tweaking stuff, and then someone else will do a membership and then I add it and I'm like, hold on, we have to add this person. So I think by tomorrow it'll be on the ending of the show, because we had a lot of people come through and renew their memberships, which I really appreciate. That is really, really, really kind. Yes, thank you so much for being such lovely people. And yeah, it's really, really, really sweet of you. I will be back tomorrow. I love you all. See you then, and bye.